Thank you, Lascan Corla. First of all, can I thank Deputy Paul Murphy and People Before Profit for bringing this bill before the House, a practical, down-to-earth bill that will achieve real progress. First of all, can I say that I'm pleased to hear that the Government supports the bill in principle. However, I hope to see real urgency in regard to progressing this bill. Earlier, Minister, you mentioned there may be some legal difficulties with the bill. That may be the case, but we all know that COVID waits for no woman, no man, nobody. Therefore, there must be immediate movement on this piece of legislation. This is a practical measure, a real measure that will make a difference. And listening to all the different speakers in the House this morning, it is clear that there is general agreement on that. However, Minister, that's fine. We can talk here, but I will not be satisfied unless I see this bill moving rapidly through the legislative process. My time is short, so I am actually going to focus on schools. As a former teacher, I have some idea of what's involved here. And while this bill is for all workplaces, and it's important to remember that, nonetheless, that's where I will focus. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is because there's a real sense of urgency around schools, because you cannot, well, you can. Teachers did their very best to work from home, to work online, but there is overall agreement that students need to go to school, and therefore there is an especial sense of urgency to make sure that they are safe places to work in. Now, Minister, I looked at the Department of Education website, and it describes practical steps for the deployment of good ventilation practices in schools. And there's a long list of instructions. The first one is the overarching approach for schools should be to have windows open as fully as possible when classrooms are not in use. And they tell us when that is: break times, lunch times, etc. Then we're told, as most schools rely on the opening of windows, it is important that windows and air vents can be accessed and opened. The third recommendation is to ensure rooms are well ventilated before occupancy each day. Move down to number 7, it tells us, in colder weather, any local chilling effect can be offset by partially opening the windows nearest and above the radiators. Number 8 tells us it is important to make sure that air movement is not blocked by furniture or blinds or curtains, and in the same vein, right up to recommendation number 19. If ever I saw the ladybird introduction to opening windows, this is it. If I were a teacher now, or a school principal, or a member of the Board of Management, I would be tearing my hair out reading what the Department of Education tells me, and I'll say it again: steps for the deployment of good ventilation practices in schools, when that is all there is in place to ensure good ventilation in our classrooms for our students, our teachers and our school staff. So that's why I'm so pleased to see that this bill and that hopefully we are finally moving from the ladybird version of how to ventilate our schools to a piece of legislation that will actually help to make our schools safe places. I, like every other deputy here, have received so many emails from parents and teachers, parents telling me their daughters are coming home frozen, teachers telling, especially those with underlying conditions, how concerned they are. We have a good basis for a piece of legislation here, and Minister, I would like to see immediate movement on this.